You're watching TVC Breakfast. Nigerians are groaning as households have been thrown into darkness due to frequent power outages resulting from incessant collapse of the national grid.
Over the weekend, power supply reportedly dropped from 4,000 megawatts to 2,039 megawatts.
A report from the Office of the Vice President revealed that the power situation worsened in recent times because the Nigerian gas company has not been able to complete the rehabilitation of the Escravos-Lagos gas pipeline system.
Consequently, power stations have not been able to generate power for transmission and distribution, thus rendering many electricity distribution companies helpless.
The president of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria says there has been a cut down in production, job losses, as well as outright closure of manufacturing companies or relocation to other countries. Joining me via Skype is an energy expert and chief executive officer, Energy Femi Adeyemo. Thank you for joining us this morning on TVC Breakfast. Now, I'd like to start with a statement from the managing director of TCN describing as weak and technically bankrupt Gencos and Discos who still rely on the government for some support. But when you look closely, has the TCN managed by the government fared any better?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Theophilos, and good morning, Nigeria. To be frank, the TCN managed by the government, I mean, looking at what happened in the last 1 week, I mean, from 23rd of April, right, and the attendant issues that we've seen in the past. We've always known that the TCN is the bottleneck in the value chain of electricity, I mean, the generation distribution in the country. So I can't really say that it has fared better, and it continues to be the bottleneck, and that's why we experience...
Now, I'll take it up from there. Bottleneck, how do you mean? You need to break that down from the chain. How is it a bottleneck?
Yeah, so the way the value chain is in the country, you generate electricity, be it, Egbin or Motosho or Lawrence Grove. I mean, the different centralized power generations that we have in Nigeria. And you have the 10 or 11 distribution companies spread across the country. So if we still continue to rely on a centralized transmission system, whereby you generate power maybe in the Niger Delta and you need to transmit that power to the other part of the country. So that bottleneck, because we have that link, and whenever any issues, maybe gas supply or pipeline leakages happen, we will continue to have this kind of problem.
So are you saying that the government should hands off the TCN transmission of energy in the country? And if that's the case, would that change anything?
So my answer to that will be twofold. Handing off, it's not enough. Yes, I mean, government could hand off, but I mean, we know the experience that we've had as a nation, I mean, even with the Genco and the Disco that were privatized. However, it's not exactly of either privatizing or not privatizing. We believe that from history, I mean, private sector might fare better, right, if it is privatized. However, my point is we need to begin to look decentralized. Right? Decentralization is very critical for us to be able to change the narrative as a country. Because it's able to generate power, distribute it and consume it where it is needed. The issue of gas supply or pipeline leakages, the effect will not be as detrimental as we've seen in the last 6 to 7 days nationwide.
All right, Chief Executive Officer, Energy Femi Adeyemo, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.
Well, it's a dire situation there. The question has been on my mind is who's going to bear the burden, the brunt of everything for 6, 7 days, no power, yet consumers pay.
That's a big question. You're watching TVC Breakfast. Over the weekend, power supply reportedly dropped from 4,000 megawatts to over 2,000 megawatts.
A report from the Office of the Vice President revealed that the power situation worsened in recent times because the Nigerian gas company has not been able to complete the rehabilitation of the Escravos-Lagos gas pipeline system. Consequently, power stations have not been able to generate power for transmission and distribution, thus rendering many electricity distribution companies helpless. The president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria says there has been a cut down in production, job losses, as well as outright closure of manufacturing companies or relocation to other countries. Joining me via Skype is an energy expert and Chief Executive Officer of our Energy, Femi Adeyemo. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, in all of this, the people suffer, the economy suffer in all of this. Now, how do we ensure that if we lose power and we do not, and the people do not get corresponding energy that correspond with the bill, how do we marry a situation such that the consumer do not have to pay for what he did not consume?
I mean, of course, the crusade, of prepaid meter is on the rise now, and I know that NERC has been working on that. However, beyond paying for power that the consumer do not have, I believe consumers want to have power across the country. So I think I will probably focus more on how we can have power, right? Because I believe that the prepaid meter, we have the meter asset provider. And with that, I believe that prepaid meter has come to stay, right? But how do we even get power?
That's the how do we get power? And if you're talking about prepaid meters, not everyone has prepaid meters. Even if we have prepaid meters and we still have this same problem of drop in power, it's going to affect everyone.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. With the prepaid meter, I believe the government should focus on that. And there has been activities on that, which, we need to intensify effort on that. However, even if we continue, even if we have meters, if the 30-something million households we have in Nigeria, if they have prepaid meters, then there is no electron to pass through those meters. They will gather dust and they will be useless, right? So it's a two-pronged approach as we're strategizing to get prepaid meters to the homes and businesses across Nigeria. We need to strategize on how to ensure that the power outages that we've experienced over the last 1 week and that we've been experiencing across the country over the past years will be a thing of the past.
Now, this issue happened over the past 1 week. How do we ensure that in the long term we don't have these same problems crop up every time?
I can tell you that it's not rocket science. The reason why this has continued to happen and will continue to happen if nothing is done, because we can't continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. We can't, as a nation, rely solely on centralized generation assets. We need to be able to decentralize our generation sources. Let us generate power in the north, and it is consumed in the north. There is no need to rely on a gas pipeline to transmit power from Escravos to Lagos, or even from Escravos to the north. Right? It's simple. It is being done elsewhere in the world. So it's not rocket science. It's just for us to bring the technology. And it doesn't have to be gas alone. Renewables is on the rise everywhere in the world. We have solar in the north. Let us generate. And it doesn't have to be, again, centralized generation.
But can every state generate electricity for itself? Do they have the capacity to do that?
So policy. So we need to change our policy, we need to change our regulation and empower states, empower even private sectors to be able to do that because the resources are there. There is nothing stopping us. As a nation, we had 4,000 megawatts, we lose 2,000, and that's why we have this chaos. If we had 100,000 megawatts and we lose 30,000, the effect won't be this obvious, and the impact will be less drastic to what we're facing as a people. Nigerians deserve better than what we're getting.
Okay, so what more can the government do in ensuring that we have power in Nigeria, and that, when we have power, a lot of things will crop up. Employment will be on the rise, and of course, industries will come into the country. How do we get to a situation whereby we always have power?
Decentralized power. I like the initiative of the eligible buyer and the willing buyer, willing seller. That's a good step, a step in the right direction, but we need to do more. Let us begin to have decentralized power stations, 1,000 megawatts, 2,000 megawatts across the country, and let those generated power, let them be consumed closer to where it's generated. With that, we will have impact on this type of emergency maintenance packages and others.
All right, energy expert and chief executive officer, R Energy, Femi Adeyemo, thank you very much for talking to us.